Church. After graduation, Colin will be majoring in supply chain management and logistics at The Ohio State University while continuing his running career on the cross-country and track and field teams. Colin's teachers and coaches say that he's an extraordinary individual who excels both in academics and in athletics. As a student, he's always striving to achieve his academic goals with excellence. Despite his demanding training schedule as an athlete, Colin manages his time effectively by balancing his workouts with his studies. In athletics, his determination and passion shine through, driving him to push his limits and achieve remarkable feats. Colin's ability to excel in both academics and athletics is a testament to his exceptional work ethic. Congratulations, Colin. On to our February Elks Teams of the Month. First up for February is Julia Bertrand. Julia is the daughter of Rob and Melissa Bertrand. She is a member of the National Honor Society, Robotics Club, Duke Crew, and Spanish Honor Society. Julia volunteers as a leader for the 4th and 5th grade class at Alliance Friends Church and places wreaths on veterans' graves at Alliance City Cemetery. After graduation, Julia plans to attend Cedarville University to major in civil engineering with a minor in Bible. Julia's teachers say she is an outstanding student with an incredible thirst for knowledge. She consistently achieves top marks in her classes, demonstrating a depth of understanding and critical thinking skills that set her apart from other students. She also has a unique ability to challenge the perspectives of those around her, fostering critical thinking. Julia goes above and beyond to ensure that her classmates reach their full potential. Her passion for learning is infectious, and she motivates others to strive for excellence. Congratulations. Our second team of the month for the month of February is Camden Tanner. Camden is the son of Eric and Ashley Tanner. He's a member of the varsity soccer team and volunteers his time coaching youth indoor and outdoor soccer, as well as working with 4th grade students at Lexington Elementary. Camden will graduate high school with an Associate's in Science degree. Following graduation, he will attend the University of Mount Union to pursue a degree in elementary education while continuing to coach with the Marlington soccer program. Camden's teachers and coaches say that he is a shining example of dedication both in the classroom and on the field. As a student, he pours countless hours into his studies to achieve academic excellence. On the field, he exhibits the same level of determination and perseverance, pushing himself to his limits in every practice and game. Camden's relentless pursuit of excellence, both in academics and athletics, serves as an inspiration to his peers and earns him tremendous respect from his teachers and coaches. Congratulations. Next up would be middle school principal, Mr. Rizletti.
Good evening. We'd like to introduce our January students of the month first. And first in the month of January, Cooper McCarty. Cooper is the son of Kristen and Paul McCarty. This is what his teachers have to say about him. He's always willing to volunteer in class and has a great attitude. Cooper's been improving all year, and he keeps improving. We can always count on Cooper to have a positive attitude and a great sense of humor. He's a hard worker. This is especially seen in his 10th period environmental club, where Cooper and his classmates have been making improvements all around the school all year. We're very proud of Cooper McCarty. other January student of the month is Mia Moss. Mia could not make it tonight. Let's have a round of applause for Mia is the daughter of Julie and Jeffrey Moss. This is what her teachers have to say about her. Mia's work is always impeccable. She's always well behaved and a pleasure to have in class. Mia's a quiet but positive leader who's a great role model for the rest of the grade. In addition to excelling in the classroom, Mia excels on the volleyball court. That's where she is tonight, actually. We're very proud of Mia Moss. And on to our February students of the month. First up, Mason Hively. Mason is the son of Deborah and Jean Hively. This is what his teachers have to say about him. Mason's a great student whose work is always done well. He's always on task and pleasant to other students. Mason's a kind and polite student that puts in the extra effort to make sure he understands the content and is successful at what he sets out to accomplish. He's a joy to have in class and fun to be around. We appreciate you, Mason. And next up in February, Olivia Dangler. Olivia is the daughter of Elizabeth Myers. She plays piano, volleyball, and loves to read. This is what her teachers have to say about her. In class, Olivia shines as a top student, striving to challenge herself and others. Olivia is a hardworking student. She's also very kind. Olivia goes out of her way to include others and is often heard offering encouraging words. She's conscientious in and out of the classroom and strives to make the world around her a better place. She's a very responsible student, and you can count on her to have her work done and done well. She's willing to ask for help when needed to make sure she understands concepts. Additionally, Olivia has started a lending library outside of Lexington Elementary. She's a leader in Power of the Pen and does a book club at MMS. Thanks for all you do, Olivia. Next up, we have Lexington Elementary and Mrs. Weber.
Good evening. I have the pleasure of introducing the 5th grade Kiwanis Student of the Month for Lexington for January, Ms. Sarah Dixon. Sarah was selected as Student of the Month because she puts forth the best effort in every subject and is ready to grasp new concepts. According to her teachers, she is eager to learn and participates in class. Sarah is always paying attention, asking questions, and giving good answers. She has an enthusiasm for learning. She is always wearing a smile and is very polite. Her favorite subject in school is math. She lives with her mom and dad and her 2 sisters, Sadie and Sydney, and she has a German Shepherd named Kimber, and she loves going on vacation with her family. In addition to that, in the future, she would like to be a dog groomer or a veterinary tech assistant. When she gets older, she'd like to have more than 1 dog. What does she look forward to? One more thing about herself. She likes to run, and she can't wait to be on the cross-country team next year. She loves to draw and color in her free time and is very artistic. Her uncle is a pastor at her church, and she loves to go to church with her family. Congratulations, Sarah. Our February Kiwanis 5th grade student of the month is Miss Lillian Mooney. Okay, so Lillian was selected as student of the month because she loves to read and it shows when she participates in her reading discussion group in class. She loves to learn and enjoys challenging herself in math. She has a strong work ethic and will work without control. Lillian always comes prepared with a smile on her face, and she is also a joy to have in class because she is always willing to lend a hand to others. Keep up the great work is what her team says, which is great teachers say. Her favorite subject in school is science because it's interesting. A little bit about her family. She lives with her mom, dad, and her twin sister, who I believe was December student. And she has 10 dogs, 4 cats, and 15 horses. Something they do as a family is they enjoy going to horse shows. One day in the future, she'd like to visit Italy, and she wants to get some books signed by James Patterson. Is that your favorite one? Cool. Also, just about herself, one more thing. She loves to read in her free time, and she's also looking forward to joining cross country. Congratulations. Next up, I have the pleasure of introducing Mrs. Jennifer Beadle, 5th grade reading teacher from Marlboro Elementary.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce you Marlboro Elementary's January Kiwanis Student of the Month, Tanner Oyster. From his teachers, Tanner was selected because of the dedicated work ethic and amazing efforts in all of his academic endeavors. Additionally, Tanner is also a committed member of the Marlboro Band. Tanner is a leader among his peers by displaying his best Duke pride behaviors, being a role model, and his willingness to help others, staff and students alike. Tanner's efforts are always exemplary. Keep working hard and being a great example, Tanner. Tanner's favorite subjects in school are history and lunch. I like lunch too. Tanner has numerous family members that have served in the military, thus military history is especially fascinating to him. Tanner thoroughly enjoys lunch simply because he likes to eat. Some special things about Tanner's family. Tanner lives with his mom, Rahema, who works at MHS, dad, Nathan, brother, Hunter, who is at MMS, and sister, Riley, who is at Marlboro. In the summer, Hunter and Tanner enjoy going to church camps, and the family always enjoys going to Mom's family reunion each summer at Lake Erie. Most importantly, as a family, they are good at playing confusing board games. Tanner's future plans. Tanner would like to become a Major League Soccer goalie. He feels like he must be pretty good at being a goalie considering that Coach McDaniel keeps asking his mom if he's coming back next year. Tanner is also very good at drawing and would like to be a car designer someday. Lastly, he would like to meet Daniel Craig, the James Bond actor. Tanner really likes his movies. In Tanner's free time, Tanner enjoys building Legos. He can put them together pretty fast. He really likes the Lego Technic sets. Tanner also likes to build model sets. He has completed models of cars, planes, and boats. Congratulations, Tanner Oyster, Marlboro Kiwanis Student of the Month for January.
our February Kiwanis Student of the Month from Marlboro, and that person is fondly known as Capper, also known as Grady. Grady is an awesome example of focus and manners, and Grady works hard each day to come to class prepared and also supports his classmates in being prepared. He's kind and patient with his peers and takes responsibility for his actions. Grady says he loves science class as he thoroughly enjoys the projects they complete. Recently, they worked on a force of motion lab. He enjoys the learning process, working with friends, and the finished product. Some special facts about Grady is that Grady's immediate family consists of mom, Julie, sister, Hannah, who is also a Marlboro student, and the late and well-loved Paul Capper. Grady has been taught a lot about farm life. He lives on a dairy farm in Marlboro. Grady's daily responsibility is to push the feed for the cows, and Grady also enjoys going to tractor pulls with his family. Here's his future plans. Grady hopes to be a farmer and a diesel mechanic. He would also like to be on the Marlington Dukes bowling team. Additionally, Grady would like to visit New York City to witness the amazing buildings. Grady said that it's important to note, and this is hard for me to say, important to note that in the future he will not own a John Deere product and will always choose the Massey first. I talked to him today about this. He would not change his stance. In Grady's free time, Grady is involved in a youth bowling league in Minerva. His highest score is a 137. Grady is also involved in a summer golf league at Sable Creek Golf Course. Grady has more recently enjoyed learning to fix tech items, and this is something that he learned from his cousin. So congratulations, Grady Capper, our Marlboro. Next up, from Washington Elementary, I believe you have Mr.
Good evening. I'd like to call up here our January Student of the Month, Alex Rakowski. All right, Alex is the grandson of David Cox and Jamie Cox. Alex is a great student who listens unbelievably well in class. His behavior is always outstanding. He tries hard in all subjects and does excellent in the classroom. He is creative and often challenges himself. Outside of school, he likes to play football. He likes to play board games with his family. He's part of our STEAM club. He makes some really cool and very creative art pieces. I've seen them myself. I tried to buy one last week, but he wouldn't come off of it. And he has also recently joined our math team and will compete in the county math tournament next month. Alex's favorite subject in school is social studies. At home, he lives with his Nana, his Papa, his 2 sisters, and he has a dog and 3 cats. In the future, Alex plans to be an engineer, and he'd like to go visit Tokyo, Japan one day. In his free time, one of the hobbies Alex really likes to do is to play chess. Congratulations, Alex. Well done. And finally, our February Student of the Month, J.C. Ellis. J.C.'s daughter of Ashley and Brandon Ellis. She was selected as Student of the Month because she's incredibly hardworking and has the highest expectations of herself. She strives for excellence in everything she does and inspires her friends and classmates to strive for excellence as well. She has already shown incredible improvement this year, and we look forward to seeing what the second half of our year holds for her. She's a leader in the classroom, and she is always challenging herself to give her best effort at all times. No matter how hard the task at hand may be, she has a drive to persevere that many times exceeds the drive of her peers. We are all so proud of her work, and she deserves this award more than many others. Congratulations, Jason. Her favorite subject in school was math. She lives at home with her mom, dad, her 3 siblings, Brayden, Aria, Lennox, and has a cat named Oreo. When she grows up, she would like to be an orthodontist. And in her free time, she does competitive dance, and she likes to do crafts and read books. Good job, Jason.
Okay, we'd like to congratulate all our students in the month. Can we do one more round of applause for all our students? At this time, we're going to take a brief break to allow us to prepare for the regular meetings. This will be your opportunity. If you want to stay for the regular board meeting portion, you can. If not, this will be your time to exit. Thank you all.
Oh, no. Oh, I guess they're not working. They're not working. We gotta go. Oh. Hi. I do too. It's funny. Yep. Yeah, we're on same team. You'll work on it a lot though when you're a diesel mechanic. Right. We'll be able to get away from those John Deeres.
Absolutely.
I did. Okay, next time.
Invitation. Your fault.
I almost sang or something, so I controlled it.
Let's go.
Well, I have to say, this is eerily like church. They walk into the building and the room is full, and by the time the preacher gets up, they dismiss the kids and there's 3 people left. So, but I do appreciate you calling, and I thought I was coming here to do an invocation, but now I feel like I'm getting the Pastor of the Month award. So let's pray. Our God and Father, we thank you for tonight. We just ask your blessing on the proceedings here this evening. We ask that you give us your wisdom and your guidance, that you bless the board, the staff, the faculty, the administration, the students, all who are involved in this school. And we just ask for your blessing of peace and safety for all. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
LSBA presentations, quickly. Okay, they're back and busy and legislation is moving. First, the Reading is Fundamental group is sharing that their annual matching grant program is returning. It's enabling RIF, Reading is Fundamental, to help double the impact you make on children's literacy with your community. They will be accepting grant applications through February 29th. It's open to schools and youth-serving organizations, and it enables us to match your budget dollar for dollar to bring RIF programs to the communities you serve. They will accept applications for RIFs, Read for Success, Books for Ownership, and Skybrary programs. The Senate joined the House and voted 24-8 to override Governor DeWine's veto of House Bill 68. The bill would prohibit gender-affirming care for minors and would designate the act as the Ohio Saving Adolescents from Experimentation Act. The bill also included House Bill 6, which would enact the Save Women's Sports Act to require schools, state institutions of higher education, and private colleges to designate separate single-sex teams and sports for each sex. House Bill 68 now takes effect on April 23rd, 2024. The program from the OSBA offers districts a way to thank local businesses, both large and small, for their contributions to public schools. For details of the resources kit with recognition ideas, visit the OSBA website. The nomination deadline is March 15th. Regional spring conferences are coming up, and I believe Mark Ryan is being honored for 15 years of service this spring, so hopefully we can go as a group and participate in our spring conference. Governor DeWine announced the School Bus Safety Working Group's recommendations to the public. They came up with 17 recommendations that could impact the work of the Department of Public Safety, the Department of Education and Workforce, and the state legislature. There is a comprehensive report outlining the group's recommendations, including how and why they came to make the recommendations. There is a 2024 Board Leadership Institute coming up in Columbus. It's a 2-day event for both new and veteran board members alike. Capital Conference nominations are open for sessions and student achievement fair performers. Nominations are due by March 8th. And also, Public School Week is February 24th to March 1st, 2024. The week-long celebration recognizes the contributions of educators and education advocates in our public schools and the communities they serve. The OSBA has graphics and resources that we can borrow and to customize to spread the word about outstanding work happening in our district. And that's it.
Thank you.
And then this report, Mr. Swisher.
Okay, good evening. All right, we're going to start off here with our February superintendent's report. I'm Dan Swisher, the superintendent of Marlington Local Schools. my opinion, at the March BOE meeting. So we're going to need to do, this meeting, kind of pick a date amongst the board if you guys are good with a work session. I talked to this past week, Josh Hagan here, and asked for some time here in the next week or so to kind of take a look at a list and maybe we're going to take a quick tour of the district, kind of look at some things and items to kind of bring to the table for that work session. So hopefully you guys can come to a date here that we can kind of get prior to next board meeting at the end of March so we can have that discussion in detail. So that's coming up. Also next month, again, I'd like to have, I come every year, so the president of the Alliance Area Development and the president of the Alliance Chamber of Commerce is Rick Baxter. So Rick's going to come to our board meeting next month and just speak briefly for 5 minutes, just kind of what's going on in the industrial park, in the city of Alliance, how it affects Marlington and so forth, and kind of the next big picture plans for the year upcoming. So you guys have an idea with that. So Rick will be joining us next month. Transportation. As you know, Governor DeWine basically just released his bus recommendations. That's been kind of all over the news. He kind of came out with recommendations. Of course, everybody was on pins and needles. Are they going to put seatbelts on buses? Okay, obviously he did not advocate for seatbelts on buses. Okay, he had it, and I think I shared with you guys a board updated quote he actually had. Correct. So, no, but
Nothing changed. It's a bunch of,
so what
we
he
shouldn't do this, we might do this, we shouldn't study that.
so what he did do was he gave out 17 safety recommendations and 12 safety features as recommendations. All right, so like a safety feature example would be, obviously seatbelts would be a safety feature as a recommendation, but it could be fully illuminated crossing arms, collision avoidance system, all LED lights, ground lighting under the buses, lane departure warning systems. Those are features. So those would be add-ons to a bus or something you would add on to a car. Again, nothing that's mandatory, but things that you want to think about. As you purchase a new bus, these are features you could possibly add if you chose to based on a company. Then obviously he came up with 17 specific safety recommendations. So through the course of the remainder of the year, Mrs. Sickles, myself, and some of our admin team, we're going to take a look at those 17 recommendations. Some of those 17 we currently do. Okay, it's just those are things that are just part of Ohio Revised Code. When it comes to specifically professional development, driver performance reviews, evaluations, handbooks, things that we need to take a look at, and obviously, how do we inform people on different things. So we're going to look at these 17 and kind of see and highlight what we currently do, and then do we need to do more, what we talked about.
Are we going to be liable if we don't follow the recommendations?
And that's yet to be answered. So, it's kind of a, it's a big thing through the Department of Education and Workforce to do, and then obviously the bus chats. So I sat on a legal conference with Eames Britton about bus chats. The day before was the Department of Education and Workforce Transportation presentation, which I zoomed in on, so they had a lot to say. It's still, there's a lot going on down there when it comes to the expectation for what you need to do when it comes to transportation. So it's an ongoing thing. It's just been released. I feel like we are making good strides. I think we always do well, but we can always do better. And so I think we need to take a look at the recommendations at hand and then see which ones are the best fit for Marlington. Is how I look at it. So that did come out. So that's kind of where we're at with transportation. This has been kind of an ongoing topic. Strategic plan. As you guys know, our strategic plan is up. I told you at the beginning of the year that I want to have the plan in place to you guys by June meeting and probably prior for you to review. Typically in the past, I've been here almost 20 years. This will be my third or fourth strategic plan. I think I came in on one, so this will be the third in straight involvement. Typically, strategic plans are 5-year plans. recommendation is going to be a 3-year plan, so actually be more every 3 years we do it to kind of follow suit with the one plan that Ms. Kaylee was talking about. Okay, so our one plan drives, probably 75% of what we do, and especially when it specifically comes to funding. And the Department of Education workforce requires it. It's something our district leadership team follows we're very steadfast about it. So in meeting with Mr. Galena, and the last 2 months, we've had 2 meetings so far. We've kind of, he agrees that a 3-year plan is the best route to go because it'll follow the one plan, which coincidentally works because our one plan is up this year. So it all kind of flows. So out of that, where I can tell you where we're at with our strategic plan is we're going to have 3 goals in that strategic plan. So I don't want to say goals, 3 sections. So each section, one section will be the one plan. And inside that one plan, then we will have specific goals underneath that. Another section will be facilities. And then another section will be finances, which basically will touch all aspects of our district. Because inside the one plan, you're talking about climate, you're talking about culture, you're talking about communication, you're talking about curriculum, and you're talking about what we're going to do to get our kids ready for the future. So that all goes into that based on, the way the district leadership team's going. So that's where we're at. We have our next meeting coming up here in a few weeks, and once we get a little closer down to the sections, we have I would say goals underneath each section, then we will be asking for input from the board, input from specific community members and business members and so forth, just in general, just what are your thoughts on it and what that is. And so more to come, but that's kind of where we're at right now. You see up there, I put solar eclipse. It seems to be a hot topic now, a lot more than it was, say, a month ago. Obviously, April 8th, we do have a solar eclipse. I did share with you in an update a few weeks ago. Obviously, from a county standpoint, we did meet with the head of the emergency management for Stark County, and he had a PowerPoint from FEMA, and they just kind of basically started the conversation was, when's the last time any of you seen a solar eclipse? Many people in the room raised their hand, including myself. I swear, when I was in 5th grade, I saw a solar eclipse, but he said it would happen around the 1800s. So it's just not a... So this is a full solar eclipse. We are kind of in a path alliance here, about 99% dark when that happens. As he stated, the expectation for Ohio's population is to double on that day. So you can put that in perspective. He made the comment that 70% of the U.S. population lives within a day drive of this area. Okay. Their recommendation for Stark County, Summit County, and so forth is not to be in business that day. It really wasn't an issue for Marlington because we already scheduled a PD day that day. So our kids were off based on our calendar a year ago. So I can tell you that all Stark County schools presently are going to be shutting down from what I've been told on that day. I think they had to get board approval. Obviously, we do not have to ask for board approval because we already on our calendar had that off. But our kids will be home that day. There will be no school. We do, the only thing I guess would be in addition to that is we are not going to have any athletic events happening or practices of any kind that afternoon because that's basically when the eclipse is. So I guess my theory and the rest of the county's theory is if you can't have school during the eclipse, how could you possibly have practice? Or it really doesn't make sense to bring kids in or have them drive in. So better to be safe. So that's where we're at on that. Community dates. I've been doing them all year. I have a few coming up here in the next couple weeks. I'll put those out. If they're not out, they should be on our website and they should be on social media. But I am going to be out and about again. Like I said, I try to hit churches, trustee meetings, roofing meetings, just various places. Talk about all the good things going on in Marlington. I mean, really, it's just like in a mini state of schools, and they're, as I said, turnouts vary. My last one, I think, was it Walter City? comes up out of those community meetings. You know, just sticking with trying to get out there, stay positive. Obviously, the last thing I didn't put it on here is I want to make sure the board aware is obviously that we do know what our issue number is on March 19th for our levy is issue 21. Okay, so that's the issue number for our permanent improvement levy at 2.9 mils. Other than that, if you have any questions?
Thank you. I like that 3-year idea. No, public participation, did anyone sign up?
No.
There is no old business, no new business.
Okay, new business. Okay, so this is just for information. We have to do it twice a year, each semester. So these are the reported instances for our K-12 buildings as presented in Exhibit A. So we do have our bowling report for the first half of the school year. There's no motion on the table for that.
So moved.
There's no motion.
Oh, there's no motion.
We don't have to do it.
There's
The only question I have is the report that I'm reading says there's one reported case of bullying, but the agenda says there's 3 reported cases of bullying. Which one is it?
The agenda is incorrect.
Okay. The recommended action.
Bob, can you note that in the minutes that is wrong? Pretty sure. Okay. Our second item. I would like to recommend the motion that the board continues participation in inter-district open enrollment program, policy 5113, for the 2024-25 school year in grades K through 12.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Inter-district is students that we bring from outside our district.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Krupko?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Hagan? Yes. Ms. Humphries?
Yes.
Item number 3, recommend the motion that the board continues participation in the intra-district open enrollment program, policy 5113.01, for the 2024-25 school year for grades kindergarten through 5th grade.
So moved.
Second. Discussion?
This is for students that wish to attend, if they live in one township, they wish to choose to go to a different township building.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Swift?
Yes.
Ms. Krupko?
Yes.
Mr. Hagan? Yes. Ms. Humphries?
Yes.
Fourth item, recommend the motion to approve the following out-of-state field trip as shown in Exhibit B.
So moved.
Second. Discussion?
This is the second year in a row our girls softball will be, they went to Tennessee last year for a softball tournament. They would like to go to Tennessee again and asking approval from the board.
Okay. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Swift?
Yes.
Ms. Krupko?
Yes.
Mr. Hagan?
Yes.
Ms. Humphries?
Yes.
Final item in new business is recommend the motion to approve the following revisions to the program of studies as shown in Exhibit C and D.
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
There's 3 small revisions. It's on, they're attached in there. It's on page 27. It's the software and web design one is taking place of information technology and computer hardware. And then computer science is an elective feeder program for software and web design, just changes it. And then page 56, wildlife and fisheries from 1 semester course to 2 separate semester for fall the other. You have to choose one or the other.
Or you could do both, but they're two separate.
They're two separate. So it's a little considered.
Call roll, please.
Mr. Swift,
Yes.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Ms. Humphries,
Yes.
Ms. Krupko.
Yes. Treasurer's agenda?
The first item on the treasurer's agenda is a recommendation to approve the minutes of the January 11th regular and organizational board meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I just have one question. Since at the organizational meeting, we appointed representatives instead of committees, our bylaws require that we establish committees. Are we going to change our bylaws, the policy?
I looked and nowhere in I see it said the bylaws encourage committees.
Well, under our bylaws, under 155, when this was made a couple years back, an issue when we didn't establish committees, that, what does it say here? It's not the one. Got it here on my phone. But our policy, there it is. It says the president shall appoint at the organizational meeting or as soon after the organizational meeting as practicable members of the board to standing committees where they shall serve a term of 1 year. So are we going to change policy on that?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
We can all see it.
Yeah, Bob's getting that right there.
What number is it?
It's under policies, it's 0155, it says committees.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, under
There.
Yeah.
Again, guys, sorry about the delay.
I know.
go down 155 under my law.
Try to magnify this.
That's right there. Okay. I guess I would just suggest that we change the policy if we're not following policy.
It just says no more than 2 members, so everybody's covering the same territory, you just have 1 member.
Yeah, but it's not a committee, it's a representative.
No more than 2 members, it would be up to 2 members.
Yeah, but we didn't appoint them to committees, we just appointed representatives.
And I'll take a look at that, and I took the guidance from Ed Holland, and he said that ours was up where we could do, he said, actually, we weren't the only district, I mean, Sandy Valley was one, and there's a handful of others that had all moved to that manner of the representatives versus the committee itself, which said our policy flowed that way, and actually pointed out that the board itself had that right to go that route without having to change it, but I will, I guess, get a definitive answer from Mr. Holland, our Neola policy rep, basically consent.
Bylaws, it's right here.
So that's what we follow. So, I mean, if there's something that we need to change, Josh, then we need to make a change to this. But as far as I knew, we were clear on that when that was brought up.
Okay.
Call the roll, please.
But I will get an answer, and if we have to change that, it will be on next board agenda as a first read.
I have one comment as well, probably, but I want to make this one change. The minutes that you received did not include the person's name who gave the invocation at the regular meeting in January. His name is Doug Beggs. I added that to what will be our official version into the minutes.
When you brought it up, I'm pretty sure on 1.24 that Jonathan seconded the adoption of the agenda for January 11th at the organizational meeting. Right under 5, adoption of meeting agenda.
1.2?
Yeah, 1.24 under 5, adoption of meeting agenda.
I think
That was Mr. Swift. That seconded that.
we have a second and I do, okay. Strike that and put Mr. Swift, but I'll confirm this with video.
Okay. I would have let you know earlier, but I rewatched it just an hour before the meeting.
Okay. We'll definitely get it to reflect what happened. Thank you.
Okay, call the roll, please.
Ms. Krupko?
Yes.
Ms. Humphries?
Yes.
Mr. Hagan?
Yes.
Mr. Swift?
Yes.
Next item is to approve the financial reports. I'd like to make a recommendation that the board approve the financial reports for month ending January 31st, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. And the highlights.
I'd like to briefly explain the budget and revenue revisions. If you look at the revenue revisions first, they're essentially increasing the amount of money we expect to receive because we now have the new allocations of the grants. Each year we turn in our final expenditure reports and the state eventually provides like the carryover from the prior year, the unspent funds. And so we have some amounts that I'd like to add to our revenue estimates. And if you look at the appropriation side, there's also corresponding numbers to add additional budget in the grants, as well as a couple other things I'd like to highlight. The largest item on here is for the 070 fund. It shows the transfer, or it shows an additional appropriation of $1,080,900. That's because what I noticed I had in there the transfer to make, you actually have to appropriate for that as well too. So that's adding the appropriation we need to transfer the proceeds from the Nexus pipeline into the capital improvements fund. The other item, kind of similar, is the permanent improvement fund. I'd like to increase the appropriations by $125,000. Reason for that is that we're essentially have spent most of our permanent improvement budget through this point of the year. We have a couple needs that came up as well that weren't planned. And I'd like to recode a couple things to the general, or to the permanent improvement fund that have been charged at this point to the general fund. We had several sewage related issues last month, including excavation and repair of a pipe at Lexington. We also have, if you remember, the board approved service vehicle, which is going to be a truck and a van. purchase of it was approved, but I need to line the appropriations to be able to pay for that. There's a chance we'll need a mower. This is speculative. At this point, we're waiting to find out if it's junk or not. You know, so I have an additional $15,000 that I'm requesting as well. And then just to kind of round this request out to $125,000 in a way, I have $52,700 additional being asked for any unplanned emergency type repairs between now and the end of the school year.
Hey, Bob, John had a question. He asked, he said, don't we have a contract for mowing? I said, the board typically does a contract each spring for the elementary buildings. But for the high school and middle school grounds, all we have over here, we do our own mowing for that. With that. Where is that?
Then a couple other highlights from the different report, financial summary. To recap the PI issue, currently at the end of January, we had $1,063,895, $1,063,895.82 cash balance. In the general fund, we had a cash balance of $7,224,950. Also, I welcome any questions you have about the issued checks report, which is also included in the monthly reports. Offhand, I can't think of any highlights from that I would share. If you have questions, I'll try to think of them.
Bob, and for chief business marketing. What's that for?
Check for what business marketing?
NRG business marketing, it's on the third page.
That's our natural gas.
Okay.
Bob, what about the Heritage Cooperative Game? $20,696.
That's the expense for our bus fuel.
Oh, that's right.
Nice like gas bill under marketing.
That's just the name of the company that, you know, you try to find the best rate, you know, it's like,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
like your highlight is saying you could do
Gotcha.
different ones, that's just the one that, through the cooperative is our best rate for that.
Gotcha.
Call the roll, please.
Okay. Ms. Krupko?
Yes.
Mr. Swift?
Yes.
Mr. Hagan? Ms. Humphries?
Yes.
Was my mic cut out? That's the second time.
They're all kind of getting fuzzy off and on. I'm
Okay.
doing what I can.
All right.
All right, next item is number 3, and I know really just the way I handled the financial reports there, because that was included in item 2 for the financial reports, the budget and revenue revisions. I've kind of explained that already. Nonetheless, I would recommend a motion to approve the budget and revenue changes.
Motion? So moved.
Second.
Discussion, further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Krupko?
Yes.
Mr. Hagan?
Yes.
Ms. Humphries?
Yes.
Mr. Swift?
Yes.
Item number 4, authorize the filing of complaints against the valuation of real property. I'd like to make a recommendation that we file a complaint against the valuation of 4 properties
Street Law Group.
Motion?
Second.
So this gets set by by Mary Jo, our county attorney. She sends this list to Bob and I, asks for approval to move forward with her to look into the recent sale of the property out of record. Does it accurately reflect fair market value? And so on there, you give the example of, we did put them all in there. So we take example A, with that particular parcel on Main Street, it had a value in 2022 of $14,505,525. Now it's being sold basically in 2023. A year later, they're saying the value is $2,297,500. It's a significant difference in 1 year's time. Basically, everybody else has gone up. That's going down. That's the case for these particular addresses. I can't tell you what any of these addresses are without looking them up, or the parcel number itself. But Bob and I cannot move forward without the board approval.
My question was, who is Park Street Law Group?
They're the law firm that will essentially represent us in filing these complaints with the board. It's arranged through ESC.
Okay, so we don't have to vote on that?
For other districts.
It's not about that, it's about moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were these originally, the market value was the value it sold for, correct?
Well, yeah, I think you just have.
Did they appeal to get the evaluation lowered with the auditors?
And that I don't know.
No, this is, actually, I think this is doing the opposite here, is why we're filing for these. The numbers represented, well, let me back up a little. In short, what's happening here is that these properties were valued at certain amounts on account by the county auditor, which was used for calculating taxes, which we get upfront. But however, when they sold, the amount that they sold for was significantly higher than what their value was on the books. The principle here is that whatever the selling price was for recently is the actual market value of the place. It shows what it's really worth. So what the attorneys will do essentially, if I understand it correctly, is file a complaint to say the valuation of this property needs to reflect the sales value.
I always thought that was automatic, so the property sold. Yeah. Okay.
That's my understanding of it, is that, here, like it says below the recommended actions, is basis for the complaint. And it refers to the revised code related to this. So the basis of the complaint is the recent sale of the property accurately reflects fair market value. So I think the purposes that we'll get ultimately in revenue receipts will what is fair based on the fair market value.
So to your knowledge, it does not automatically happen with the auditor's office?
I think apparently not.
Apparently not, right?
Apparently not.
Which is
Yeah.
Yeah, that is odd.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's why we're doing this, is so that they can.
All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Ms. Krupko,
Yes.
Ms. Humphries.
Yes.
Mr. Swift.
Yes.
Item number 5 is recommendation that the board approve the following per diem rates for travel, which are based on the federal GSA rates for Columbus.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Did you not say that this hadn't been changed
It's 2008.
since 2008?
Yeah, and what's being recommended here is really to set the per diem rates based on whatever Columbus is the idea here.
You could barely eat lunch at McDonald's for $16.
And then list, just for people watching or listening, the amounts listed here are breakfast $14, lunch $16, and dinner $29. The idea here, like you mentioned in the updated stuff, our policy related to travel needs a little bit of tweaking, but our administrative guidelines are just way out of whack. I think it hasn't been updated since 2008. And plus our done as quickly as possible so we can actually start using it. But you will have forthcoming changes with the administrative guidelines and probably some changes to the travel policy and stuff as well to align with what I want to do first.
Who all does this apply to?
This would apply like staff that applies to go to professional development, you know, where there's a possibility of an overnight. So, so it basically follows, what Bob is, he's following the IRS guidelines. So we chose Columbus as our IRS rate because that's the bulk of our PDs in Columbus. So for example, we have a group going for a title conference, or a group going down to the literacy conference with Miss Keeley. You know, there'd be, if it's a full two-day conference, then, you know, the full day they're there, they would have an opportunity to be able to utilize this, you know, the IRS rates. If it's just a day trip, then you only get a portion of it. It's not the full amount because the assumption is there. And that's all detailed and turned into the treasurer's office. It's the description of where they're going, what is offered at the conference and whatnot. That all has to be turned in. So that's basically your certified employees. It's really, it's all in place.
There will definitely be records and control, you know, confirm attendance and travel and so forth. So, but it will simplify some processes in our office for sure.
Okay, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Mr. Swift,
Yes.
Ms. Humphries,
Yes.
Ms. Krupko,
Yes. Personnel?
Okay, we're on to personnel. You guys are good. So personnel is really not a lot there, but I will kind of briefly go through it. We do have a retirement, 2 retirements, a classified, 2 classified retirements. Deb Spunker, educational aide, and Vicki Dixon, our food service director. We have a resignation on the classified side. That's Janet Rome. She just took a new job with the Alliance Police Department, I think, is where she went. We have some classified staff hires, just replacing anything that we lost. We have a supplemental resignation, that's Ms. Neal. We have supplemental hires, it just catches us up, I think, through spring here. It's supposed to be just track related. And we have sub-hires on the classified side. We have 1 classified staff transfer. And then we have 1 leave request, medical leave for a bus van.
Your motion? So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Krupko,
Yes.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Ms. Humphries,
Yes.
Mr. Swift.
Yes.
Okay, upcoming events, obviously, we're getting to the end of the winter sports season now. I mean, banquet season will be joining us here real quick, but we do have senior nights coming up. So tomorrow night is boys basketball, cheerleading, and bowling. You guys can make it here tomorrow night. Now, try to make it through halftime. I think we're doing bowling at halftime. And then we're gonna do boys basketball and cheer prior to the game. So that's kind of give you an idea where we're at here. I'll send a reminder out to you tomorrow of the time. And then obviously Saturday at 1 o'clock, we're gonna do the girls basketball senior night here tomorrow, or senior day. That's how you wanna look at it. So that's, you know, Saturday, we can make it up for that. Obviously, this Monday is President's Day, so we do not have school. Kids are off. February 28th is our bowling banquet. February 29th says a swim banquet. That could change. Okay, so I'll keep you posted because obviously February 29th is also our choir concert here at the high school. All right, there's a little bit of conflict there. It's pointed out today, so we're just working through some things that we do the choir concert on 29th.
You want to talk about a work session?
I do. For upcoming events, you guys can look at your calendar, see what maybe would work. Potentially, if you guys approve, our next board meeting is slated, obviously, from, you know, the third Thursday is March 21st. So really, anytime in March that works for you. Outside of the night that I actually am speaking. I guess look at your dates. 5 o'clock at his home.
How come I have basketball banquet in there on March 14th? Girls basketball banquet.
I do have that too. That's what it is, girls basketball banquet. Now, I don't know if that's, all right, I'm gonna stick it, it's on my calendar, I'm gonna say that's pretty accurate, but that doesn't mean it's 100% accuracy. I mean, right now, that is a slated night.
We just got updates.
How about Tuesday the 12th look like? 2 days before? Nothing slated right now for the 12th. I would ask to go at 5:30. There is a Lexington trustee meeting that night at 7, so I figured we'd probably be close. I would say within an hour and a half, would probably be pretty good through the work session.
5:30 on the 12th, March 12th.
Josh, that work for you, 5:30?
I'm good, yeah.
Here.
What's the afternoon work session?
That would be buildings and grounds, some projects.
Okay.
You said 5:30 on the 12th. Here.
What I'll have ready based on what Josh and I review, kind of, I'll have I think it's similar last year, I'll kind of put a book together of, the projects and then the general costs or estimates on those projects, and then we'll kind of review what we have in the capital improvements funds and the permanent improvement funds, and you guys can we'll make some recommendations of what we can accomplish this summer. We can bring that to the board on the 21st.
Okay, so just to summarize, the next Board of Education meeting will be on March 21st at 6 p.m. at the high school DLC. Prior to that, on March 12th, there will be a work session regarding buildings and grounds and summer projects. That will be March 12th at 5:30 p.m. also here in the high school DLC.
Correct. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn? So moved. Second. Discussion? Call roll, please.
Ms. Krupko?
Yes.
Mr. Swift?
Yes.
Mr. Hagan?